engagement. So this is where an auditor takes up a job which he or she will assumes the and fulfills the objectivity, which this will become an impairment if he or she already did that same job last year. That will cause impairment and biased opinions, or this will create personal conflict with personal interest from with him or her. And even if it will still cause impairment, if his or her job goes beyond 1 year. So this is where the instance of management still on persisting on the same auditor or auditors to do the same to do a periodic internal auditing assessment, which is not really ethical. So internal auditors should not accept such assignments. If they still persist, management still persist, they can go on a non-audit function engagement. This is where the CAE could minimize the impairments to objectivity by using a third party to complete the audit of that area. So, practical, what do you call this? Practice advisory number 1130.82-1. Internal audit's responsibility for other non-audit functions. Okay? Number 1, internal auditors are not to accept responsibility for non-audit functions or duties that are subject to periodic internal audit assessments. Like I said, if they have this responsibility, then they're not functioning as an internal auditor. So continuing from practice advisory 1130.82, number 2, when the when the internal audit activity, chief audit executive or individual internal auditor is responsible for, or management is considering assigning an operational responsibility that the internal audit activity might audit, which is the third party, considering hiring them, the internal auditors, the third party, independence and objectivity may be impaired. So this is where matters needs to be consulted or discussed with the engaged client, because if you're just going to hire someone and yes, he passed all the requirements, he follows all those requirements, but he or she doesn't, the external doesn't consult with the engaged client, then the objectivity will be not aligned with the client and yours, so this will create impairment. In this assurance service in previous consulting areas, it is possible to provide assurance services in areas in which the internal auditor previously it performed consulting engagement. So the standard 1130.83 states, the internal audit activity may provide assurance services where it had previously performed consulting services, provided the nature of the consulting did not impair objectivity and provided individual objectivity is managed when assigning resources to the management. Standard 1130 C1 states, internal auditors may provide consulting services relating to operations for which they had previous If internal auditors have potential impairments of independence or objectivity relating to proposed consulting services, disclosure must be made to the engagement client prior to accepting the engagement. End of the report. Thank you.